The diary room, such an integral part in any season of Big Brother. Whether it's with love or with hate, we all tune in and listen to the house guest thoughts inside the diary room, hoping to hear top secret information on so-and-so strategy, or what this person thinks of that person, or if they too think that OTEV is sort of like musical chairs. But not often enough do we talk about the diary room itself. The design of the diary room is far more important than you may think. On a subconscious level, a beautiful and captivating diary room will leave us more excited to watch each new episode of Big Brother, whereas a poorly designed or unflattering diary room will have us less eager to turn the TV on next Thursday night. So we're just gonna have some fun today and look at how the diary room has changed throughout the years, for better or for worse. We'll be ranking all 35 diary rooms in the show's history, going from worst to best, and we're including everything here. Over the top, both celebrity seasons, and all of Big Brother Canada. Don't worry, there won't be any spoilers for any of those shows, just some appreciation of Canada's top-tier diary room designs. My opinion is likely going to be way different than yours, so don't get upset if I trash on your favorite design, and instead, feel free to comment on what you like and don't like, as I'm very eager to see all of your thoughts on this topic. Don't forget to subscribe, and without further ado, let's get started with the absolute worst designed diary room.
Good idea.
I'm top view. I'm a sniper. And also, I'm scared.
At the number 35 spot, the absolute worst of the worst when it comes to diary rooms is, without a doubt, Big Brother 16. This actually looks like someone puked on the background, and they kept it. I get what they were going for, something like looking through a tree into the sky, but it just does not work for me. And for real, for the first season of Big Brother to ever be in HD, this is what you decide to go with to really display that new crisp video quality? They definitely dropped the ball on this one. At the number 34 spot, we have Big Brother 1. It's just red. Very boring. Doesn't scream Big Brother to me at all, and it doesn't captivate me. However, it doesn't look like someone vomited on it, so it has that going for it. The number 33 spot, we have Big Brother 18. I don't dislike the design, and I think it's actually kind of cool. I just don't know what it is, but the colors do not work for me. It doesn't draw me in, and I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but I cannot for the life of me define what color this is. Like a light, dull purple? It makes me feel like I'm colorblind and missing the color that is actually trying to be shown to me. Now, those are really the only ones that I actively disliked. Everything from here on out is somewhat passable. The number 32 spot, we have Big Brother 21. Just in case you forgot what show you were watching, the Big Brother 21 diary room has got you covered. I'm just not the biggest fan of it, but at the very least, it doesn't turn me away, and it's okay. It just feels like a huge mesh of alphabet soup, but it's only the B's. The number 31 spot, we have Big Brother 4. As you'll see throughout this list, I for the most part very much enjoy the old school diary rooms, and for the most part, Big Brother 4 has a pretty alright room. The purple swirls in the background are perfectly groovy, and if it was just that, I would love it. But why the hell did they put this giant grassy mold in the middle of it? It's just so unappealing to me. Like, why would they put that there? But I love the purple part so much that it beats out the alphabet soup.
Scott finally went into the diary room, and we were told that he wasn't coming back.
The number 30 spot, we have our first Big Brother Canada diary room, Big Brother Canada 7. Here's the deal. I actually really like the gold couch theme. It's different and royally refreshing, and I like it. However, I hated when they would show the blue background behind the gold. I actively hate it, and I don't know why. I'm not trying to be so aggressive, but I really hated it. I think the boldness of each color clashing together just didn't please my eyes, so for that, I'm dropping it down this low. It probably does not deserve to be this low because I do enjoy it when it's just gold, but the blue really killed it for me. Now, for the number 29, 28, and 27 spots, these three are pretty much all the same and are very much interchangeable to me. But first off, we have Big Brother 11. I like the design. It's simple, not too many colors, but the only issue for me is that it's too bright and overpowering for me. There's a difference between bold and bright, and I prefer boldness. It's not a bad diary room at all, just a tiny bit too much for me. Just above Big Brother 11, I have Big Brother 12. I think Big Brother 12 did a good job toning the brightness down, but similar to the season as a whole, it ended up just being a bit boring. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's not much going on that makes me think, wow, what a stellar diary room. Solidly mid-tier. And lastly, we have Big Brother 13's diary room. I like the color theme of this one. It seems chromatic and has a bit more of a defined contrasting color structure, which gives it the edge for me over the other two, but realistically, all three of these are interchangeable. They're not bad, but I won't die on a hill for any of these.
Rachel came in there guns blazing. I'm sitting back and like, you know what? Let them duke it out, let them fight. It's entertainment for me. I'm not getting involved.
At the number 26 spot, we have Big Brother 20. Big Brother 20 is in an interesting spot because I feel that the background design is really cool. The 3D hexagons give off a really sweet vibe, but the downside is that the color scheme is just a bit dull. It's cool, but it could have stood out a bit more. If it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, well, I probably am, but who cares? I could have used a tiny bit more boldness here, but it's a very inoffensive backdrop and I like it. At the number 25 spot, we have Big Brother 9. I have a lot of opinions on this one, because here's the thing. I used to really hate this diary room, but I'm now a bit higher on it. I really don't know how to feel about the trees. I really have no clue. It looks like they're trapped in a blue jello-ish substance. But I do very much appreciate the absolute randomness of it all. Big Brother US diary room backgrounds really never have that much going on with them in terms of physical things. It's usually just a jumble of shapes or patterns. But for Big Brother 9, they said, no, F that. We're putting still images of realistic trees. And that's hilarious to me. And I think fits nicely with Big Brother 9 as a whole. So I hate it, but I also don't hate it. So I'm just going to put it here at number 25. And number 24, we have Big Brother Canada 8. I love the ideas of buildings behind them, though it just didn't work out as well as it would have in my head. It's still cool though, don't get me wrong. I just would have made a few slight adjustments to it. To me, it feels like when I'm making a thumbnail for a video and I'm on my first couple drafts. The idea is there, the final vision just hasn't been realized yet. It's not bad, but I don't love it.
I truly believe I could have stayed here for another 1,000 days.
At the number 23 spot, we have Big Brother Over the Top. It's kind of funny how much higher I have this one compared to Big Brother 18, seeing as to how they're almost identical, but it's all in the color. The purple works so much better than the weird non-color they had used previously, and since I think the design is cool and the way that it pops in and out, this diary room stands out to me as much better and gets a much higher ranking because of it. At the number 22 spot, I have Big Brother 19. Bold is different from bright, and I love this honestly. People hate this background, but I don't. I think it sits nicely in the backdrop. The words really aren't all that commandeering or in your face, and I think it's an appropriate backdrop given the house theme for the season. I like it, and I like it even more when Josh is sitting in front of it.
I'm in the Big Brother house! This is insane!
At the number 21 spot, we have Big Brother Canada 3. This backdrop just reminds me of Frozen, like the Disney movie. But it's still a really cool design and beats out Big Brother 19 for me. The only thing going against it is that it is super bold, and I personally didn't see it fitting all that well with the theme of the season, but overall, it's a very pretty backdrop and gets a thumbs up from me. Now, at the number 20 and the number 19 spot, I have both US celebrity seasons. I'm like 99% sure that these are the same backdrops, and to be honest, they're nice. I like them, and they do give off a bit more spectacle than a typical diary room would, which is appropriate, given that it is a celebrity season. I don't find much wrong with these. They go with the theme, and they're nice to look at. It's good.
Not really. That's Joey Lawrence. He fine 2 times. Whoa, whoa.
The number 18 spot, I have Big Brother All-Stars 2. At first, I didn't really like this background, but it really grew on me after the fact. The graffiti on brick design is very unique compared to what the diary room typically is. It went along with the house theme really, really well, and the somewhat lighter color scheme made it feel a bit more freeing and lighthearted, for better or for worse. But overall, I enjoyed it and felt it was a pretty solid design. Now, for number 17 and number 16, these are another two that are almost identical, so they'll be grouped together. Similar to the 11 to 13 era, they're very interchangeable, so it really is just up to personal preference. Up first, I have Big Brother 15. The design is really cool. It looks as though Windows logos are floating in the background, and it really fits the vibe of the era that Big Brother was in during this time frame. It's cool, it's simplistic, it's not in your face overbearing, and it's a very solid background. Big Brother 14 gets the slight edge for me over Big Brother 15 because I like the slightly lighter color scheme, which makes it more distinct when compared to all the other seasons. Big Brother 15's color scheme is much more similar to the typical shade of blue that is always used, while Big Brother 14's is a little bit lighter, and I like that. At the end of the day, they're both very solid, simple backgrounds that I would happily welcome back. At the number 15 spot, we have Big Brother 3. There's something about old Big Brother diary rooms that make them feel so much more authentic. I love a cool design, but I also love a real-looking background, and that's what Big Brother 3 gives us. It looks cozy, the colors work well, and the overall atmosphere of the diary room works really, really well with the season as a whole, and I think that this is a very good, simple diary room.
Danielle came up to me saying that Marcellus told Roddy that Danielle was coming after Roddy.
Marcellus turned. You gave up the ghost, you told people my secrets, I don't trust you, then you have to go. Simple as that. You don't mess with me.
The number 14 spot, we have Big Brother 2. Similarly to what I just said about Big Brother 3, this old diary room design absolutely works for me. I always felt that the diary room sessions in Big Brother 2 felt a lot more sinister than the diary rooms of later seasons, and the dark blue and black squares help complement the sinister vibe in a way that makes it feel like Big Brother. Although I think I enjoy the coziness of the Big Brother 3 design, Big Brother 2 gets the slight edge because at the end of the day, it feels a bit more Big Brother to me, and that means a lot more to me, especially given that it's been over 20 years since then.
I created the fast for spiritual cleansing, which was total BS. It puts me in a position of power, and if people are wondering what I think, then I have some ability to control them. I can be the puppeteer, and they can be the marionettes.
The number 13 spot, we have Big Brother 8. I love the crumpled up tissue design. It's wavy, it's extremely captivating, and I could look at it all day. The only issue with Big Brother 8's design is that the colors are just a bit too dull for me. When I think of a diary room, I don't want to think of gray. But oh boy, when they switch it to the pink version, it's a massive chef's kiss and would likely be the number 1 spot if it was that color permanently. But it's not, so it lands here at number 13. Okay, get ready for a whole lot of Big Brother Canada. In the number 12 spot, we have Big Brother Canada 9. I know what I said about Big Brother Canada 8 in the skyscraper thing not really working for me, but just the raw idea of this being that the house has been sitting and overgrown with foliage and plants is such a cool idea to me, and it added that little extra oomph for me to place it this much higher. I think it is probably the best example of a diary room displaying the theme of a season in a way that is so true to its roots, yet still looks cool. I'm still not in love with the skyscraper design, but I can appreciate what it just meant as a whole, so it's borderline top tier for me. The number 11 spot, we have Big Brother Canada 1. I am a huge fan of the design here. The specific shades of blue work really well. I love the lines of silver rectangles, and overall, as an American watching the first season of Big Brother Canada, it gives off a chillier / colder vibe to kind of distinguish itself from the warm summeriness that I'm used to in the US. It's simple, but it works really well, and it's definitely a really good diary room in my book.
So I'm holding on, and my hands are shaking, and I'm sweating like a whore in church.
At the number 10 spot, we have Big Brother Canada 4. Big Brother Canada 4 has a diary room that just screams celebrity or stars or whatever. It's explosive and exciting, a bit bright, but overall really envelopes the theme and makes it a more enjoyable diary room as opposed to a sinister one. This is the last diary room that I have below my top tier, but it's still a really, really good diary room. Now, we're entering my top tier. And at the bottom of my top tier, at the number 9 spot, I have Big Brother Canada 6. Stained glass is an insanely cool concept, but I felt that there was a little bit too much going on, but I still loved it. The Big Brother eyes were a nice touch, and like I said, I love the stained glass in the background, but there's a lot going on in this diary room, and that's a negative. But it's still super cool and lands at the bottom of my top tier. If they just did a stained glass design and kind of took out all the extra stuff, I think it could be in my top 3. But number 9 isn't too bad either. At the number 8 spot, I have Big Brother 17. Now this is a super groovy design. This is what I wanted Big Brother 4's diary room to look like. It's the perfect shade of blue, the pattern in the background is so weird that it's awesome, but it doesn't stand out in a way that's distracting. It's unique and definitely different than most Big Brother diary rooms, and I like it very, very much. It lands at the number 8 spot. The number 7 spot, we have the most recent diary room, Big Brother 23's. The neon theme is way different than the norm, and at first glance, I was a bit skeptical. However, as time went on, I started to really like this diary room. The blue and pink neon circles work really well. It reminded me of the old food areas in a Target, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. Also, the dark blue brick is so pleasing to the eyes and looks so much better than the Big Brother All-Stars 2 brick. Overall, a masterpiece of a diary room.
I am going very slow because if I go too fast and these balls fall out, it's going to be tough for me to recover.
The number 6 spot, I have Big Brother 5. God, do I miss the uniqueness of the early diary rooms. When there's not weird patches of green moss on the walls, the design crew really nailed the backdrops. In my favor of the really early designs, like from the classic one-story Big Brother house, is Big Brother 5's. The way that the red light just oozes from the ground up the purplish rocky wall is so pleasing to my eyes. It reminds me of a volcanic area with lava under the rocks, and I love it. The different choice of color as opposed to the now typical blue is much appreciated, and it's just a really killer design. At the number 5 spot, I have Big Brother Canada 2. The Friday Night Lights vibe is just so good to look at. It's like looking through a rainy window with New York lights behind it. It looks so cool, it's so unique, and I really can't say anything else about it other than it's so insanely nice, and if Big Brother US ever did something like this, it would be phenomenal. The lights, the design, the theme, and the execution is all done so perfectly. This is a near perfect diary room in my eyes.
Netta.
Yes?
You are being sequestered. There's a blindfold under your seat. Please put it on and prepare to leave the diary room.
What narrowly beat out Big Brother Canada 2 is the last Big Brother Canada season, Big Brother Canada 5. It's so wild and crazy, and I love it. It has a lot going on, but it's centralized and not random looking like how Big Brother Canada 6 has looked. It's explosive in all the right ways, and it feels like I'm traveling through an interdimensional wormhole, which is fitting to the Space Odyssey exploration theme of the season. The hexagons are a great touch, as I personally feel that hexagons in general can add a lot to design, and in my opinion, this is the best Big Brother Canada diary room design, which really says a lot because I have them all ranked so highly.
On day 6, they attempted to flip the vote and save Mark after they had already agreed that we were going to evict him. From that point on, they were blacklisted.
It was a vote flip that happened 2 months ago. She is making her decisions at the final fourth based on something that happened 2 months ago. It's ridiculous.
And now, we're at the last 3. At the number 3 spot, I have Big Brother 10. Big Brother 10's sparkle shower curtain design is so close to being my all-time favorite. I've been saying this a lot, but it's so much different than any other diary room. It's so synonymous with the season, and it's very simple and just a well-designed background. The natural sparkle that the room gives might seem overbearing at first, but I never noticed it to be too distracting, and it gave the diary room a really fresh new feel after 4 seasons of roughly the same design. It was definitely a gamble making the diary room look like this, but I feel that the gamble paid off, and it is my 3rd favorite diary room of all time.
You know, I don't know if things in this house can get any better for me. This is incredible. This is the one thing that I could have asked for.
And now we're at the last 2. And spoilers for the top 2, they're basically the same thing. If you've been keeping track, you know that the top 2 diary rooms, in my opinion, are Big Brother 6's and Big Brother 7's. The crumpled tissue, flowy, wavy design, seemingly frozen in a gelatinous substance, is quite honestly the coolest thing I have ever seen. And that's why these 2 are at my top spots. Big Brother 8 and Big Brother 9 have this as well, but I didn't love the base color of Season 8's, and Season 9 had the trees in it, so neither were going to be super high for me compared to Season 6 and 7. It really is just a matter of preference, but for me, my number 2 spot goes to Big Brother 7. The blue is bright and not in your face distracting. It sort of looks like when you look into a pool on a sunny day, and the sun hitting the water puts a cool pattern on the bottom of the pool, which is a really neat design and is so fun to look at. There's nothing wrong with this diary room and could very well be the number 1 choice for me, but personally, Big Brother 6 is always going to be the top spot. It's the same design as Season 7, but the colors work better for me. The fact that it's not just the typical blue shade is a plus for me, but the faint transition of colors really, really works and is a lot more intricate than you'd think at just a first glance. On the right side, you've got the typical Big Brother blue, but it slowly transitions into a more green color on the left side, and there's little faint highlights of purplish gray that works so well. It sort of screams old school to me, and maybe it's just the fake nostalgia goggles I'm wearing, but it makes it hard for me to pick anything else. So Big Brother 6's diary room takes the number 1 spot.
I am harm. It's a little harm, but it's, you know what, it's a harm. Intentionally removing the doll from my hand is physically described as assault in the outside world. The way I saw it, she just whooped his ass.
And there we go. It was honestly way harder to rank every single diary room than I originally anticipated. But this is my list as of now, and it is definitely subject to change as so many of these choices could easily be 5 spots higher or 5 spots lower. The design of the diary room is so much more important than viewers tend to realize, as the majority of the season is going to be told inside of there. So having a pleasant to look at background can actually be a game changer. Before I head off, I want to say thank you to those that have joined the channel. Your support means a lot to me, especially during these times. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're cool, and as always, here's a clip for you on your way out.
Having said that, he's going to continue to do it anyway, but he's never tweeted at me. One, I stayed loyal to him. I don't really say bad things about him. But if he turned on me, he knows I got a big mouth. That's not going to be great for him.
Yeah, sort of nothing is shocking.